Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Tune in daily for great books as we explore the best reads worldwide for you. Today we're diving into the classic work called Social Psychology. While social psychology sounds familiar to many, it's actually challenging to clearly explain what this discipline entails and what issues it addresses for listeners without psychological background. As the name suggests, this field revolves around two key concepts we all know: society and psychology. We all exist within social environments, constantly experiencing various psychological states and changes. Social psychology is fundamentally connected to every aspect of our lives. Over the past century since its emergence, countless social psychology publications have flooded the market. But if you want systematic understanding, Myers' social psychology remains the gold standard. As a psychology professor at Hope College, he's not only an accomplished scientist, but also dedicated to making psychological science accessible to general audiences. Myers has received multiple prestigious psychology awards in America for his research and writing contributions. Since becoming standard psychology textbook in U.S. colleges since 1994, it's been revised to its 11th edition. Over 700 universities worldwide use this book as foundational psychology material. Now, let's explore what social psychology insights this book offers. I've organized the content into 4 interconnected sections to help you understand Myers' perspective systematically. First question: who am I? How can I accurately understand myself and others? Second, how are individuals influenced by others and social environments? Third, why are our relationships with others so complex? Fourth, what practical applications does social psychology have in our lives? Let's start with the first question. Who am I? How can we accurately understand ourselves and others? Actually, over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates warned us to know thyself. For each individual, our self-perception forms the center of the world, with different environments and cultures shaping our unique personalities. Though we live with ourselves daily, accurate self-awareness is surprisingly complex and often biased. Imagine attending a friend's party as the only guest without a gift. You might feel everyone judges you as socially inept. But social psychology research shows others rarely notice our inner turmoil, and even if they do, they quickly forget. People don't notice us as much as we think they do. Psychologists call these exaggerated perceptions the spotlight effect and transparency illusion. To understand ourselves accurately, we must recognize these cognitive biases. Social psychologists have developed various theories. In this book, Myers focuses on the widely used self-efficacy theory and self-serving bias theory. Self-efficacy theory suggests we tend to overestimate our capabilities, which often leads to greater success. Research shows people with high self-efficacy are more resilient, less prone to anxiety, depression, and achieve more. These positive cognitive biases often bring beneficial effects. For example, studies show Chinese elders generally maintain more respected social images than Western counterparts. This leads to stronger memory-related self-efficacy. Thus, Chinese elders show lower rates of memory loss conditions like dementia. The other theory is called self-serving bias. It reveals that most people develop subconscious biases when processing self-related information. We tend to rationalize failures, while readily claiming credit for successes. We often perceive ourselves as better than others in many situations. For example, studies of post-game athlete interviews show winners attribute victory to effort, while losers blame external factors, like referee bias, superior opponents, or weather conditions. Through these theories, Myers teaches us self-awareness requires balancing self-efficacy with avoiding cognitive distortions. We should harness healthy self-efficacy while guarding against self-serving distortions in our perceptions. Maintaining balanced self-esteem and avoiding extreme optimism. Pessimism leads to healthier living. After understanding ourselves, we must learn to accurately perceive others. We typically attribute others' behaviors to either internal traits or external circumstances. That is, personal characteristics versus environmental influences. This analytical method, called attribution theory, helps interpret human behavior. Yet we frequently make attribution errors in real life. Take a student dozing in class. Some might assume they had poor sleep. Others might blame the teacher's lecture being too boring, or attribute it to various other factors. Human behavior rarely has single causes. Our analysis of others' actions often gets distorted by multiple influencing factors. Social psychology teaches us to balance intuition with avoiding overconfidence and emotional interference for accurate judgments. Let's recap the first section's key points. Essentially, it's about how we make judgments regarding ourselves and others. Let's temporarily call these intraindividual questions. Now, we'll explore the second category, interpersonal dynamics. How are individuals influenced by others and society? To examine this, we must first understand social roles we play. Social roles can be understood as identities assigned within groups and their expected functions. These roles accompany us throughout life in any society. From birth, we assume different roles in families, schools, and workplaces. Do these roles and behaviors come from nature or nurture? Psychological consensus confirms both genetic and cultural factors shape roles and behaviors. Gender roles remain the most studied social roles in psychology. While sex is biologically determined, gender roles vary dramatically across cultures and eras. A 2003 global survey across 44 countries about wives working showed stark cultural differences. Egypt had 66% opposition, while Vietnam showed 91% approval. How do others and environments influence social roles? Myers particularly discusses conformity and persuasion, two classic social psychology concepts. Let's first examine conformity. Conformity research remains a hot topic in social psychology. We unconsciously mimic majority behaviors and thoughts daily. Extreme examples include herd mentality in housing markets or mass psychogenic illness. Psychologists documented a case where 170 plus students in a 2,000 student high school suddenly developed headaches, dizziness, forcing tweak closure. Investigators thoroughly searched the school but found no medical causes. Psychologists concluded initial physical symptoms created psychological suggestions that spread. These mistaken beliefs rapidly spread, creating collective panic. This manifested as mass psychogenic illness outbreak. Psychogenic panic becomes key driver in such mass hysteria cases. Post 9/11's America saw reported contagious skin rashes, later proven non-existent, Panic spread through visual suggestion. The imagined disease spread through fear and misinformation rather than actual infection. Myers also examines persuasion, how we get influenced. Effective persuasion targets audiences using logical arguments and emotional appeals. Commercial ads represent daily persuasion, attempts we all encounter. Study of 168 TV ads showed most effective combine facts with emotional storytelling. Successful detergent ads explain stain removal science while using relatable spokespeople and slogans like Smart Mom's Choice. Such campaigns create positive emotional associations to drive consumer decisions. This persuasion works by fostering positive empathy with audiences. Other persuasion uses fear tactics, like Canada's graphic anti-smoking warning showing health consequences. These shocking visual warnings effectively motivate some smokers to quit. We've explored two classic social influence mechanisms, conformity and persuasion. Now let's expand our perspective to examine complex group dynamics at societal level.